4 main highlights I want to do today. I wanted to do a recorded video, but I can't be bothered. Let's just do it live so we can actually chat about what's going on. So let's get started. So first of all, good morning, allegedly squad. This is your friendly former senior financial analyst, Tom. And today I got a special treat for you today. We're going to be talking about a lot of the most interesting stuff that just happened today, including, but not limited to, what's been going on with Elon Musk and the Putin love affair and the context to China. Also, Palantir might be joining the QQQ. Is it even possible? And if it is actually possible, does it even matter? I mean, what are the implications of that, if any? Also, Janet Yellen is declaring war on Bitcoin at some point, and some point being now. Is this really what they want to do? Can they? There's a lot of issues. There's a collision course between the U.S. government and Bitcoin. It seems that they're going to use the colonial pipeline issue to basically, hey, shout out to Wes. Thank you for the donation. Basically, they're using the colonial pipeline story to push the Bitcoin subordination to theirs. I'm going to talk about it in a second. Also, I'm actually going to give a shout out. By the way, shout out to Wes Frey for the $10 donation. I'm going to give a shout out to Robinhood. Now, you can't mistake me for a Robinhood fan. I've been extremely critical of Robinhood over the past year on numerous occasions, and rightfully so. They screwed up many, many, many times. However, this morning, I'm going to give Robinhood a kudos. I mean, tip my head off if I had a head. Good job. So I'm going to show you something really interesting about Robinhood. Let's start with Palantir and the QQQ rumors. I'm going to pull up on the screen something I just want you to see. So as you can see in the screen right now, by the way, shout out to Will. Thank you for the donation. On the screen right now, you can see Will Mead actually tweeted about this, and it's actually very interesting. So he's saying, and again, this is just speculation, right? The QQQ, basically, we're going to have Palantir join the QQQ next, which is almost this insane idea, right? We're talking about, let me just pull it up so you can see it bigger. We're talking about, it's a Nasdaq ETF. So we're talking about this guy talking about Palantir joining a Nasdaq ETF. For those of you who are not familiar with QQQ, I'm not even sure that's possible, to be honest. Don't know if they can, because you have to remember Palantir is trading on the New York Stock Exchange. I don't think as a New York Stock Exchange company you can go on the QQQ. Not sure if that's doable at all. There might be a few exceptions, but I'm not familiar with. Also, there have been occasions in the past of companies that went from New York Stock Exchange to the Nasdaq and changed listings, which is, I guess, possible, but very improbable in my opinion. So the real question here is, why does this even matter? Is this even news? Palantir joining the QQQ. What's the story here? And I gotta be honest with you, it's not a huge piece of news. I'm sorry to be the party pooper here, and you know me, I'm a huge Palantir fan, but this thing is a no news for me, and I'll explain why. So you probably don't remember that, but Tesla actually joined the QQQ back in 2013. It did nothing for the company, obviously. When Tesla joined the S&P 500, that was the massive boost to the share price you all saw and remember, right? But joining the QQQ is not such a huge deal. The threshold is not that complicated. Beyond, the real question is, what does it do to the long-term horizon of the company? Joining the QQQ means nothing for Palantir as far as the future outlook of the company and their ambition to become the biggest software company in the world. So it's completely meaningless. It might give you a little boost in the short or medium term for the share price, but as far as the share price within the next 3 to 5 years, it's meaningless. So for me, sorry, Palantir fan here, no news. I don't see this as anything but a headline. But I mean, it's a nice vanity thing, if anything, but nothing beyond that. Okay, so check this out. Next piece of news we actually have to talk about has to do with Robinhood. I gotta give Robinhood props for what's going on right now. So this is an article from Seeking Alpha. I'm going to pull it up on the screen right now. So essentially, Robinhood are doing something really incredible. So Robinhood, and I'm going to give some context about it, the good and the bad. You know, I always give you the nuance. And I'm going to take questions at the end. Don't worry. I'm going to take questions, so hang tight. Robinhood are coming out with this, and it may sound like they're the first app to allow this, which they're not. I mean, SoFi came out with this, I believe, in April. So SoFi were the first company to allow regular Joe Blows like you and me to participate in IPOs in the listing price before they go public. which is something that used to be preserved just for the rich boys club. You had to be super rich, super connected to get in on these IPOs. And now SoFi came out with it. Robinhood just came out with it. So they're the second ones to came out with it, to the best of my memory. But here's the real story here. I think even though it's a phenomenal move and it's a step in the right direction, let me tell you the nuanced truth here about what's really going on. So there's two issues here nobody's going to talk about. Number one is Robinhood are not going to be undersigning any of these at all. So they're going to be standing in line, getting allocations like the rest of these investors, and they're going to be reselling those allocations to their clients, which is nothing wrong with it. However, that gives you access to all the low-level, mid-level IPOs. But imagine you have this IPO where the demand is insane. Like everybody wants in, like the hottest IPO. They don't have any leverage to get anything but breadcrumbs from the investment banks. That means that the participation of their clients in these kind of high-demand, high-profile IPO is going to be very minimal. They're not going to get a lot of shares to allocate anyways. That's going to be, the rich boys are going to keep the chocolate for themselves. It's just how it works. So that is a step in the right direction, but it's not going to drastically create this equilibrium of IPO access like everybody wants and needs to happen. But definitely a step in the right direction. However, the second nuance here is even more interesting. The reason that they're doing this, I believe, is because they want access to some retail money for their own IPO, which is coming up, which is very interesting. So Robinhood had a spell of bad PR disasters. I've been covering most of them. They're not approaching this IPO from a place of leverage, from a place of strength. They're coming down from really a chain of nasty reactions. So their IPO isn't as hyped as it would have been before the crashes and the outages and all that. So they want access to the public money. So them allowing people to participate in these IPOs through their app will actually get them a lot of access to retail money for their own IPO, which I think a lot of their clients will gladly participate. So it's a step in the right direction. It doesn't solve the problem. In fact, still to this day, direct listing like Palantir did is way more fair to retail investors than this. However, this is a step in the right direction, and kudos for them. Not being cynical at all. Good job. Now, the next piece of news we absolutely have to talk about, which is also very interesting, is the Elon Musk Russia story, because this one I'm familiar with up close. This is really interesting. Check this out. So, and again, some nuances here you absolutely have to understand, because this has more to do with China than Russia. But this is such a crazy story. Oh my God. So let me pull it up on the screen so you guys can see it. Okay, so how do I make this thing go away, the commercial? Hold on. Okay, I think this is better right now. So Elon Musk says Tesla eyeing Russia as potential production hub. So he did the whole spiel in Russia, and him and Putin are now singing Kumbaya around the campfire. Putin and Elon, the best friends forever, hugging and kissing. Now, what's really going on here? So here's a few facts that you have to understand about geopolitics. So China has been squeezing Elon's nuts in the past. How Russian would be just past in the past few weeks. As you noticed, they've created they've created this situation where the protests, of course, the government sponsored. Everybody knows these protesters are basically they're Jack Maing Elon Musk right now. They let him establish himself in China, and now they're squeezing his nuts to show him who's boss, to basically subordinate Elon to their control. So they're basically showing him who's boss in China right now, because by placing his business in China, Elon pretty much mortgaged the entire future of Tesla on the success of the Chinese project. And now they're going to tell him, well, we're the boss. And yet, Elon. So basically, unlike Jack Ma, Elon actually has options outside. So it's like a dude who's like a red pill guy. He's like, you know what? So if the wife doesn't give you attention, so you show her that other women are interested, right? To get that attention. So she actually wants you even more. So now Elon is actually showing China, hey, I have different options. Look, here's a country with 10 gazillion people. None of them drive electric cars. Some of them are drunk. I mean, but it's still a lot of people. A massive, massive market. And look, they want me. And they're probably going to pay for my factory there. So I don't really need you as much as you think, China. I got Russia over here actually flirting with me. So, you better get your act together, China, because I'm about to go out and, start a new life with Putin. So this is all about China. That has nothing to do with Russia. However, I do have to warn Elon, you don't want to frick with Lada. Have you ever seen the Lada Niva 1985? Tesla don't want that smoke. On a serious note, you have to understand that if actually Tesla makes car in Russia, I'm refused to accept any Teslas that are being made in Russia, because you understand the people that make cars in Russia, the quality of assembly isn't that great. I mean, you have to ask my grandfather who worked for the Zaporozhye factory. I mean, actually, my grandfather is looking for a job, Elon. So if you're hiring for the Russian plant, my grandpa has extensive Zaporozhye equipment, all the experience. So if you're looking for new employees, my grandpa is down to participate. On a serious note, let's talk about something more interesting. So this is kind of alarming now that we're done making fun of Elon in Russia, red pill and all that stuff. So check this out. So this is very troubling. I'm going to pull it up on the screen. So we got Janet Yellen. Jesus Christ. So we got Janet Yellen. I was about to say the Treasury version of Paula Abdul. But I'm not going to say it. So we got Janet Yellen over here, essentially coming out and saying, hey, the U.S. Treasury, we want every crypto transfer to be reported to the IRS if it's over $10,000, which means a lot of these transactions. Now, what's really going on here? The nuanced truth, not the headlines. So they're using the Colonial Pipeline hack. If you remember that hack, the hackers got paid in Bitcoin. So they're using that hack to basically tell you, hey, you see what Bitcoin is doing? How Bitcoin is evil? We want to protect you. We want to save you from this crime and this extortionist. We want to be the savior of the world. We want to basically oversight on Bitcoin will help you. It's people nonsense. It's bullshit. It's nonsense. Now, essentially, what she's doing here, she's creating a situation where they want to subordinate Bitcoin to IRS reporting. Now, it's not even a tax play, because tax-wise, they're going to suffer. The U.S. government is going to collect less tax from Bitcoin transactions if they actually go through with this, because they're going to send the price of Bitcoin down for a long time, which is going to pretty much, we have Janet Yellen sitting on a branch, cutting off the branch she's sitting on. And she's like, she doesn't even know she's doing that. Now, what's really going on here? It's all about control. It's all about control. They want to control this thing that's taking over. They can't control it. And they're creating a knee-jerk reaction. Unlike in China, where their knee-jerk reaction was like, the leg flew out of the house, their knee-jerk reaction is a little bit kind of more tame. But here's the problem here. This goes, and trust me, I have a tax LLM. This goes against every principle of the way the U.S. tax system works. The U.S. tax system is extremely unique. It's very different than any other Western tax system. The idea is we're not going to audit almost nobody. The percentage of audits is almost non-existent. However, if we catch you with your hands in the cookie jar, we're going to go medieval on your ass. The punishment is going to be so disproportionate, so insane, that the fear of getting caught, even if the percentage is so low, is going to basically make you do the right thing and actually report voluntarily what's going on. This thing is actually going against that system, because this way you're sending the collections down because Bitcoin prices will go crazy down. However, you're creating this whole compliance department in the IRS that has to basically manage compliance for this. And trust me, this is going to cost taxpayer dollars. Creating this system to supervise every transaction of Bitcoin, it's going to cost so much money, which you will pay as taxpayers just to collect less tax and basically kill this beautiful thing that Bitcoin is. Sorry. So I think it's just ridiculous. It's all about control, not thinking economically, just thinking about, okay, we have to take control of this thing. It's just like the Chinese, but in a more mild reaction. Anyways, so taking questions. That's been enough. So I'm going to sign off. If you're just watching this on the replay, that's the end of the video. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. If you want to stick around for the full replay, let's get it right now. Let's get through the questions. So first of all,